Just talk. Talk to the camera, not to me. Or to me if you want.
Alright, start over, Ben. Erase that.
Okay,
Are you ready? Make sure you don't go over anything.
go.
Alright, Dad. What was it like growing up on the south side of Chicago?
It was interesting. I liked it. It was, back in the 60s and 70s, so it wasn't like it is now. It was sort of a close neighborhood. All the neighbors got along. Everybody walked up and down the street, sat on each other's front porches at night. People that lived in the neighborhood I grew up in were there for a long time, and they're sort of hardcore city people, very hardworking sorts of folks, and it was very comfortable. I had relatives that lived all around and friends everywhere, so I enjoyed it.
What was your school like?
I went to a Catholic grammar school called St. Catherine of Genoa. It's since closed up, but I went kindergarten, or first grade rather, through 8th grade there. And that was a good school. I got a very good education. We had nuns sprinkled in there along with lay teachers. So I liked it.
What kind of things did you do in your spare time? Like sports or activities?
Through grade school,
Yeah, or just as a kid?
the things I did in my spare time through grade school, I had 3 paper routes that I did, and I played a huge amount of baseball. I was on a couple different Little League teams over the years. I played basketball in 7th and 8th grade, and I did a lot of lawn work. I did a lot of cutting grass and that just to earn some extra money. I was in the Cub Scouts. I collected old newspapers, brought them back for money, so it was pretty busy.
Describe the friends or the people that you hung out with or spent time with.
Most of the friends I had were through school. I was an altar boy, so I had a lot of friends in the church. And, being in a Catholic grammar school, a big part of going to school is going to church too. So I had a lot of friends. Go ahead.
What was your family like when you were growing up? Tell me about your siblings and your parents, or any conflicts that you had.
I have 3 sisters. I have a younger sister, a twin sister, and an older sister. And you know them very well. My mom and dad. My grandmother lived above us for a while I was in grade school. We lived in a 2-flat, and we owned the house. We rented out the 2nd floor to another family, and my one grandmother lived up there by herself. So I used to visit her all the time.
Did you guys have any interesting special traditions?
No.
No? Alright, tell me about some of the jobs that you had as you got older.
I worked in a gas station and jewel food store when I was younger. The very first job I had, I worked in a dime store. There's not too many of those around these days, but it's like the dollar store. It was sort of a variety store. They sold women's clothing and some hardware things, and I had sort of fun in that job. I did that when I was sophomore and junior. When I got out of school, or actually while I was in college, I worked in a place where I fixed lawnmowers and electric appliances, which was sort of an odd job to have. Then when I got out of school, I obviously started into engineering.
What are some of your favorite memories? What are some of your worst memories from these jobs?
I think my favorite memories were just hanging out with the different people in some of those jobs. I met some interesting folks and just laughed a lot. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Working at the Jewel food store was like having another family, so I really liked that. Probably the low point was getting held up at gunpoint at the gas station.
Tell me more about this event.
Well, I don't know, it wasn't too late at night, but somebody came in and held us up at gunpoint, made us pull all the money out of the safe. And obviously I wasn't killed, no shots were fired, so it was pretty good. And it was actually sort of exciting, but when I look back on it, but it was pretty frightening at the time.
What kind of lessons did you learn from these experiences?
From the
From the jobs that you had, any important lessons you learned?
Just that the harder you work, the luckier you get. I'm sort of raised in a family where everybody worked hard, and I learned that you just have to work hard if you want to get ahead.
Are there any interesting people or unforgettable people that you met? People that you still keep in touch with, maybe?
No, I met some people that really made an impression on me, but I can't say that I've been able to stay in touch with them over the years.
Going back to your family a little bit, could you describe maybe some of any struggles you had within your family or at home?
I think growing up with three sisters, there was a lot of drama in the house. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked as a cost accountant. And our family wasn't particularly close at that time, so that created some struggles. The grandparents didn't always get along. They didn't get out much, so it was sort of a low-key life. At some points, it was sort of boring.
I know that you went to University of Illinois in Champaign. Could you tell me about this experience and how it was different than your life at home?
Oh, it was the best. My only job was to go there and learn, and I had just the best time. I made a lot of friends that were different from some of the folks that I grew up with, some of the folks that I went to high school with, and it was just an eye-opening experience. And just to be able to learn in that environment was just huge. It was the best time.
When you went away to college, was that the first time that you had left your home on the south side of Chicago?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go on vacations or things like that?
Yeah, we took some family vacations, but never very far away. It was always in the Midwest.
What were some of the main things you learned from going away to college?
How to be independent, how to work hard. Sort of thought about what I wanted to do. It makes you make some decisions about what you want to get your degree in.
What were some of the challenges that you faced when you were going away to college?
Getting the bills paid, getting the labs done. In engineering, it was a tough curriculum. A lot of my friends from school went on spring break, and I ended up coming home working on homework. But you're in a group of people that are very motivated, very intellectually aggressive, and we just had fun. It was hard work, but we had fun.
How did your family react to you going away to a good school at University of Illinois?
I think in some instances they were, in some ways rather, they were proud of me, and in some ways I think they were sort of intimidated. I was the first one in my family to graduate from college. That includes my parents and my sisters.
So, did they give you a lot of recognition for the things you accomplished there?
Yeah.
What's time, Dad?
9 and 10.
Alright, going back to your neighborhood as a kid, were there any other, could you describe any of the other challenges that you had there in your neighborhood?
Well, unfortunately, when I got into 8th grade, the neighborhood changed, and we had to move out of the neighborhood. So that was a bit of a challenge. Some of my friends started moving away, and my sisters were going to the high school, and they had to switch. So that was one of the challenges to changing neighborhood, the demographics.
Were you one of the only